In this nugget, we are going to learn about naming alkenes. Most of the compounds in crude oil are hydrocarbons. Alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons. This means that at least one of the carbon-carbon bonds in alkenes is a double covalent bond. This double bond is an example of a functional group. A functional group gives a family of organic compounds their characteristic properties. Alkenes contain less than the maximum possible number of hydrogen atoms per carbon atom. Remember, carbon is in group 4 of the periodic table and has a valency of 4, so carbon can form 4 bonds. As a carbon-carbon bond in alkenes is a double bond, there are only 2 bonds left on the carbon atom to bond to other atoms. Single covalent bonds form between carbon and hydrogen atoms. A family of organic compounds with the same functional group is called a homologous series. Alkenes are a homologous series of hydrocarbons containing a carbon-carbon double bond. A homologous series has similar chemical properties and trends in their physical properties, and differ from each other by an extra carbon atom and 2 hydrogen atoms. Therefore, alkenes vary by the length of their carbon chain. All alkenes end in -ene, so we know that compounds ending in -ene contain at least one double covalent bond between carbon atoms. The number of carbon atoms in the compound determines the first part of the name. This is also called the prefix. The prefix tells you how many carbon atoms are present in the alkene. If the carbon chain has only one carbon atom, the word starts with meth. If there are 2 carbon atoms, the prefix is eth. If there are 3 carbon atoms, the prefix is prop. If there are 4 carbon atoms, the prefix is bute. If there are 5 carbon atoms, the prefix is pent. Ethene. Here is an alkene containing 2 carbon atoms and a double bond, so it starts with eth and ends in -ene. Ethene is the simplest alkene, because there must be a minimum of 2 carbon atoms in order for a carbon-carbon double bond to form. Propene is an alkene containing 3 carbon atoms with a double bond between 2 carbon atoms. So it starts with prop and ends in -ene. Butene is an alkene containing 4 carbon atoms and a double bond, so it starts with bute and ends in -ene. Pentene is an alkene containing 5 carbon atoms, and there is a double bond present, so it starts with pent and ends in -ene. Summary. Alkenes are unsaturated hydrocarbons. Alkenes have the functional group of at least one double covalent bond between 2 carbon atoms. The names of alkenes all end in -ene, suffix. The number of carbon atoms in the molecule determines the first part of the name, prefix. The first 4 alkenes are ethene, propene, butene, and pentene. They have 2, 3, 4, and 5 carbon atoms respectively. Keywords: alkene, an unsaturated hydrocarbon. Crude oil, a type of fossil fuel. Functional group, an atom or group of atoms that give organic compounds their characteristic reactions. Homologous series, a group of related organic compounds which have similar chemical properties and trends in their physical properties. Hydrocarbon, a substance that contains only hydrogen and carbon atoms. Unsaturated, contains at least one double covalent bond between carbon atoms.